Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about 5 mystery booster commanders because they just got spoiled over the weekend. Actually, I was working on some The Hobbit videos. Speaking of, based on my improvements from Self Improvement Saturday, I realize with better ideas, they do require more work to execute. Even if I don't try every other element, it kind of requires some level of increased effort to execute on better ideas. So, a new lesson that I need to incorporate is the idea to scale down, I mean, the methodology of scaling down ideas to the bare minimum. Anyway, today I have the bare minimum version of the Mystery Booster Commander spoilers that I think I can do is 5 mystery booster commanders that I appreciate for existing. Honestly, personally, I do not think that I am good enough to be able to evaluate any of these cards, but on a personal level, I do know that some of these cards should have existed long ago. Um, I guess personally, I am aware of some of the lore for some of the other cards, and I understand that a lot of people might be looking for um, character cards do exist, but I think personally I look at stuff on a mechanical perspective. So that's what you'll get from this video. So let's start with number 5, living weapons. So we got Ekti, Contaminator Priest, which is a legendary creature. Sorry, let me start with uh legendary creature, Fraction Cleric. With other fractions you control get +1/+1, and each equipment you control has living weapon. So living weapon is whenever an equipment you control enters and create a 0/0 black Fraction germ creature token, then attach that equipment to it. We saw living weapon first in Scars of Mirrodin block when Phyrexia was taking over Mirrodin. And I remember that living weapon was essentially the correction mechanic to show that it was corrupting the mechanics of Mirrodin because Mirrodin is known for introducing equipment way back. So Living Weapon is the correction version of it. But more recently, for Mirrodin, which is the Living Weapon turned back into the Mirren side, which created a 2/2 Rebel, Red Rebel token, Rebel Creature token, portrayed how Mirrodin or the Mirrens were taking back what was theirs. Anyway, I think this is really interesting because um, we saw a lot of living weapons. Actually, living weapon is a relatively popular mechanic. You can see with Batterskull from original Scars of Mirrodin block got reprinted in Modern Masters, I believe. This is because it's just really good. It's a 5 to cast um, for Vigilance Lifelink with pay 3 to return it to its owner's hand. And that's just, can you imagine? It's the it's the buffs that are provided as an equipment. The equip cost is really high, but if you recast it, it gets activated again as creature. We also have recently in Commander Modern Masters, I think, we have Caldera Complete, callback to the original Mirrodin block for collecting or assembling the artifacts of Caldera, the helm, the sword, and the shield. We can see that Phyrexia has corrupted them. I personally I wish that they changed the aesthetic of the equipments themselves. It just looks like some kind of Phyrexian being is wearing them as Caldera. But anyway, yet another popular living weapon. We have Bitterthorn, Nessus Animus, which is, I forget, sort of the Animus made into a living weapon. Sorry, that's Nessus Sword, right? And we have famous uh, from Modern Masters to Mortar Pod from the original Scars of Mirrodin block. Uh, in contrast to Batterskull, which made a really strong buff. This plays on the sacrifice theme. You equip it to a creature you don't really care about or has a dice trigger, and then you can sacrifice it, deal 1 damage to target creature or player. And this is part of a lot of combos where, because it serves as a sacrifice outlet to some extent. I understand that Ekti doesn't necessarily synergize with any of these, and you can build her with any equipment. I just appreciate that Living Weapon has become its own deck, and I appreciate that that Ekti also gives an anthem effect because some equipment don't give toughness buffs. So if you give every equipment Living Weapon, they're going to die. They're going to die due to state-based actions. Aside from that, it also just buffs, existing germ tokens, and you can actually unequip germ tokens, and they can live without being equipped to their equipment. Next, we got Hedron Crabs, which I think is very amusing. We got Homer the Hermit. I don't actually know what plane Homer is supposed to be. Hmm. Possibly from the new Noctis. I don't know. Because it's underwater and doesn't seem like it's from any set that we've seen prior. Take note that it is a Sultai for 09. Crazy. Legendary creature crab druid. Landfall. Whenever land you control enters any number of target players, each mill X cards where X is twice the number of crabs, lobsters, nautiluses, starfish, and or trilobites, because those exist in Magic you control. It's Hedon Crab as a commander, which is really cool. Very cool indeed. So you notice that you're taking essentially the strategy of Hedron Crab, where you could mill yourself or you could mill your opponent, which is more difficult to win through. It kind of it avoids that any number of target players, so you can self mill and you can try to win by milling out your opponents. Very cool. By the way, Ruin Crab in the, I believe, Zendika Rising is an updated version of Hedron Crab. So Hedron Crab's original was target player, so you could target yourself or your opponent, and Ruin Crab focuses on all opponents. Homer can do all of it. So although again, yeah, you don't really need to run Hedron Crab and Ruin Crab in Homer the Hermit. You just need to, I guess, run a lot of crabs, lobsters, nautiluses, starfish, and or trilobites. And I don't even know if those make a synergistic strategy, but it's just really cool, I think. Next up, we got Homerids. Sticking to the sea creature theme, we got Ricala, Homerid King. Now, Homerids are a kindred, or sorry, a type, creature type from way back in, what's the I think from the original sets. I forget, sorry. I haven't been playing Magic this long, but I do know that everyone has been looking for a Homerid commander for so long, and now they finally get one. It's a 1 green blue legendary creature lobster noble, which is strange. I think with this lobster typing, they're going to change Homerid to lobster type, which I don't know if I agree with, because I don't, well, it's like the Viashino lizard type change. Viashino has a lot of um, flavor to it, but changing it to lizard recently, because there were lizards which are not Viashino in Bloomburrow, so now you can play lizards and Viashino in one deck or something. Um, I don't know if they plan to make more lobster creatures. Then again, from Noctis, there could be lobster like monsters. Anyway, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a tide counter on Ricala. Then if there are 4 or more tide counters on Ricala, remove them. Interesting. The tides change. Creatures you control get +1/+0 for each tide count on Ricala. Whenever you tap an island for mana, if there are 3 or more tide counters on Ricala, add an additional blue mana. So, interesting. Even if you do counter shenanigans, like proliferate, it'll just disappear from Ricala on your upkeep if there are 4 or more. So I guess there's like a soft limit to +3/+0, which is not bad. And whenever you tap an island for mana, if there are 3 or more tide counters on Ricala, add blue. So if you can keep those counters at 3, you get a lot of resources, I think. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so Homerids have been uh, a long undersupported type from Magic Gathering from Dominaria with a niche fan base, I'd say, relatively large though. This one is the one that I've seen when it's from Dominaria, the first time we returned to it in relatively modern recent Magic. There's only one Homerid, I think, though Homerids did appear in other art. And then another Homerid in Outlaws of Thunder Junction for surprisingly, though I guess it makes sense that the interplanar set would have species from other planes. So yeah, finally support for what is this? Kingdoms? No, alliances. Alliances, I think. Yeah, so finally we get support for the lobster people. Next is Curses with the unluckiest planeswalker, and he doesn't get a name because he's mysterious like that. So legendary planeswalker, no creature, sorry, no planeswalker type. We get rule breaker. Deck with this commander can have aura cards of any color identity and any basic land cards. The +1 gets add 1 mana of any color fixing, right? I mean ramp, I guess, in color fixing in red. Interesting. When you spend this mana to cast an aura spell this turn, create a 1/1 red gremlin creature token. Interesting. Gremlins. And -3, discard your hand and draw cards equal to twice the number of auras you control. For each aura attached to you, attach it to an opponent. Interesting. Of your choice. Why would they attach to you? Interesting. So of course, this guy is a reference to, I forget what set, uh, Commander 17. Sure, the Commander 17 curses. So this is the same guy. I think in all of there's a cycle of 5 curses, each one meant to provide a negative effect, a negative buff, a debuff, one might say. And it's the same guy in all the art, and I think he's set on Innistrad where he's getting into unlucky situations. So Curse of Vitality, Curse of Verbosity, Curse of Disturbance, Curse of Opulence, and Curse of Bounty. And I forget to add, but there is a Curse Commander actually. Lynn Cheerful Tormentor, also from Innistrad. Also, there was a Easter egg that she is playing with a voodoo doll that looks like this guy. But it's very funny to note now that this guy exists and you can make him a curse commander, basically, and that he has found himself from Innistrad. Now looks like he is in Duskmourn. Arguably a way worse plane to be in. Definitely truly is unlucky. Last, we have the Nephilims, which is something a lot of players have been clamoring for, and I didn't think they would be able to do it, a Nephilim commander, but in one card they made all the Nephilims legal to some extent. You can see here Nephilim Epochal, right? Has blue, red, green, white, and white, black, I believe. Mana cost So I think this way you can pay for any 4 combinations of mana. And you can see here that it's a legendary creature, Elder Nephilim. When it enters, search your library for a Nephilim card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Well, that's interesting because no matter which 4 color, no matter which Nephilim you play, uh, casting this as your commander basically makes your Nephilim your secret commander. You can shoot her for it. Or you can just play all the Nephilims. Works the same way. Nephilim you control get +1/+1 for each other Nephilim you control and can't be blocked by mono-colored creatures. So let's check the Nephilims out. We got Brilliant Eye Nephilim. Yep, that works. Blue, black, red, and green. We got Dune Brood Nephilim. We got black, red, green, and white. Oh, it doesn't work, does it? Wait a minute. Green, red, and white. Oh no, it works still. Red, green, white. Sorry, black, sorry. Red, green, white, blue. Red, green, white, blue. Blue, red. This should work. I mean, I'm just double checking. Blue, white, green, blue. Because there's only one blue red pip here. So blue has to be that. And then red has to be the next one. Then green has to be next one. White has to, so all the left side. Which maw? So green, white. Well, there's only one black. Black, white, green, and blue. Cool. And then white, blue. Oh, black. Okay, black, blue, white, red. Yeah, all five of them. You could cast. You could choose any one of them to be your secret commander, basically. Personally, I like the I forget who the 4 color commanders more. Um, that would be Idris. This is Saskia. This is Tinaro. Wait, no, sorry. Tiro and damn, I forgot the Hinaris and Tiro. I think the Therans. Oh, Brea. Ah, no, sorry, Atraxa. Which mo became Atraxa, and your tiller is Brea, Ethereum Sculptor. Kinayos and Tiro, I think. Kinayos and Tiro. So yeah, uh, at least the 4 color commanders had more lore to them to some extent. These ones, pretty interesting. Do they do anything interesting? They don't draw that many cards. Hmm. Mm, card draw becomes board presence. Go wide, I guess. Ooh, spells. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty chaotic. Oh my gosh, this video has reached 19 minutes. Well, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening to me drone about the cards I find interesting. And I guess I appreciated the cards that I appreciate, and I hope that Magic Gathering will print more of these cards that we've been waiting for. I hope it doesn't get printed in one of these limited run sets like Mystery Booster. I hope they can find a way to make it way more available because personally I live in a third world country and regular Magic sets are already so expensive that I cannot afford most of them. So yeah, um, I'm still waiting for a splicer, fraction splicer band commander. I know we have Bernard. It's not fraction. He's not fraction. and I'm waiting for a skeleton commander. I know we have a lot of skeleton commanders. None of them are typo support. There are no skeleton commanders that are both either typo support or a skeleton themselves, or like support other skeletons. Because I'm thinking of the King Rattlebones. Rattlebones. I forget his name. Yeah. All right. So thank you for listening, and I hope next time I will be more succinct in my speech. Thank you and goodbye.